Welcome to our deep dive on the time-sensitive path to U.S. permanent residence through adjustment of status, especially when your authorized stay is about to expire. We will unpack the I-94 deadline, risks of filing after expiration, the 90-day rule and preconceived intent, when to hire an attorney, and practical steps to file fast but correctly. Let's begin. Here is our roadmap. First, we compare what matters more: the I-94 admission record, or the visa's printed expiration date. Next, we cover the risk profile of filing before versus after expiration. Then, we tackle preconceived intent under the 90-day rule. After that, we evaluate when to hire a lawyer versus filing on your own. We provide a rapid filing checklist and timeline. We then discuss entering on a tourist visa while already married. Throughout the video, we include a couple of quizzes to reinforce learning. Before we proceed, an important disclaimer. This content is for educational purposes only and is not legal advice. Immigration rules change, and individual circumstances vary widely. You should consult a qualified immigration attorney for advice tailored to your situation. Now, with that in mind, let's move forward. The most important date for temporary entrance is the I-94, admitted until date, not the visa's printed expiration. The I-94 governs how long you are lawfully admitted in the United States. If you miss that date, your status changes and unlawful presence can begin accruing. For immediate relatives of U.S. citizens, adjustment may still be permissible even after the I-94 expires, but the risk of enforcement and complications increases. Therefore, filing before the I-94 deadline is the safest strategy. This flow illustrates the decision path. After arrival, the key decision point is understanding that the I-94 governs your lawful stay. If you file before your I-94 expiry, you stay within status while your adjustment is pending. If you file after expiry, you may still be eligible to adjust as an immediate relative, but you are out of status and potentially accruing unlawful presence. That elevates the risk of enforcement actions and other complications. The strategy is to file a complete, well-documented package before the I-94 deadline. Here we compare filing before and after the I-94 expiration. Filing before expiration keeps you in status and generally reduces enforcement risk, creates better optics during adjudication, and offers greater control over your case timeline. Filing after expiration often remains possible for immediate relatives, but it means you are out of status and potentially accruing unlawful presence, which elevates enforcement risk and can bring heightened scrutiny and stress. The prudent course is to file before the deadline whenever possible. This timeline depicts the 90-day rule framework. From day 0 through day 90, after entry in B2 or VWP status, immigration officers may view quick marriage or rapid filing for adjustment of status as indicative of preconceived immigrant intent. After 90 days, the presumption can soften, though it does not disappear. Throughout, honest documentation of when the decision to stay was actually made is critical. This timeline helps visualize how filing timing interacts with perceived intent. Preconceived intent occurs when officials believe you entered with the intention to remain permanently while presenting yourself as a temporary visitor. The 90-day rule is a guideline used to frame this suspicion. It does not automatically deny your case, but it can trigger more questions or delays. Immediate relatives of U.S. citizens often receive more leniency, but you should still prepare a clear, honest account of when you decided to pursue adjustment. Supporting evidence, such as original return itineraries, lease transitions, joint finances, and communications, can help corroborate your narrative. To file quickly, first gather identity and civil documentation such as passports, birth and marriage certificates, prior visas, and the I-94. Next, assemble the core forms in parallel. Typically the I-485, I-130 and I-130A, I-864, G-1145, and optionally, I-765 and I-131. Arrange the medical exam on Form I-693 early. If time is tight, you can submit it later or interfile. Demonstrate the bona fide nature of the marriage with joint leases, bank accounts, insurance, photos, and affidavits. Monitor the I-94 deadline closely and mail your package well before it. Perform a thorough quality check for signatures, correct fees and form additions, and include an organized cover letter. Use reliable shipping with tracking and keep complete digital copies. This table summarizes common elements of a marriage-based adjustment package. I-485 to adjust status, I-130 as the underlying petition, I-130A for supplemental spouse information, I-864 for financial sponsorship, and I-864A for a household member if needed, I-693 for the medical exam, I-765 for employment authorization, I-131 for advance parole, and G-1145 for electronic notifications. Include civil documents, evidence of a bona fide marriage, and the correct payment. Always verify the latest form additions, instructions, and fees on the USCIS website before filing. Quiz time. Which date controls how long you are allowed to stay in the United States after entering on a temporary visa? Option A. The printed expiration date on the visa. Option B. The admitted until date on your I-94. Option C. Your return flight's date. Option D. The date your marriage certificate was issued. You may pause the video now to consider your answer. We will discuss the correct answer in the next section. The correct answer is the I-94, admitted until date. The visa allows you to approach the border and request entry, but the I-94 determines your authorized stay inside the United States. Always track the I-94 deadline carefully. Whether to hire a lawyer depends on complexity and time. In clean, straightforward cases with a U.S. citizen spouse and strong financial sponsorship, filing quickly might be better than waiting weeks for legal review as the I-94 deadline approaches. However, if there are red flags, such as criminal history, prior removal orders, extensive overstays or misrepresentation, need for waivers, or difficulty meeting the financial support rules, then an attorney review becomes essential. When in doubt, schedule at least a strategy consultation with a qualified immigration attorney. This mind map organizes when a do-it-yourself approach may be reasonable versus when professional counsel is advisable. On the DIY side are clean history, a U.S. citizen spouse, strong financial sponsorship, a short timeline, and well-organized documents. On the lawyer side are criminal issues, prior immigration violations, waivers, complex travel histories, weak finances requiring a joint sponsor, prior denials, and identity inconsistencies. The closer the I-94 deadline, the more critical it becomes to decide quickly and minimize errors. This sequence diagram summarizes the typical AOS journey. You file I-485 with the underlying petition and support forms. USCIS issues receipt notices, then schedules biometrics. Optional employment and travel documents may be issued during processing. If needed, USCIS may send a request for evidence, to which you must respond timely. Next, USCIS schedules an interview. After the interview, USCIS issues a decision and, upon approval, produces and mails the green card. Second quiz. Filing an I-485 for an immediate relative after the I-94 has expired is generally which of the following? Option A, impossible and always denied. Option B, possible but riskier due to out-of-status and potential enforcement. Option C, automatically approved with no scrutiny. Option D, only allowed if filed on day 91 after entry. Pause the video to think it through. We will discuss the answer in the next section. The correct answer is that it remains possible but riskier. Immediate relatives can often still adjust even after the I-94 expires, but they are out of status and may accrue unlawful presence. That increases the chance of enforcement and other complications. Filing before expiration is the prudent approach. If you are already married to a U.S. citizen and try to enter as a tourist, officers may presume high immigrant intent. Temporary visas and the visa waiver program require non-immigrant intent and strong ties abroad. Because of the risk of denial or withdrawal of application for admission, many established couples use consular processing from abroad. Never misrepresent your purpose to border officials. Always tell the truth and follow the proper pathway for your situation. This pie chart visualizes common risk contributors in a typical adjustment scenario. The largest slice represents filing after the I-94 expiration, followed by weak evidence of a bona fide marriage, preconceived intent issues, financial sponsorship challenges, and prior immigration violations. The proportions are illustrative, not statistical, and highlight where careful planning can mitigate risk. These are the core takeaways. First, the I-94 admission date controls your lawful stay, not the visa's printed expiration. Second, prioritize filing a complete package before the I-94 deadline. Third, maintain a consistent and truthful account of when the decision to stay was made to navigate the 90-day rule. Fourth, seek legal counsel if red flags exist. Fifth, always be truthful at the border. And consider consular processing if you are already married and outside the United States. In summary, treat the I-94 as your master deadline and act early. While immediate relatives may still adjust after expiration, the risk profile worsens. The 90-day rule influences how officers view timing and intent, so consistent documentation and honesty are essential. Organize thoroughly, verify current USCIS instructions and additions, and use tracked shipping. When uncertain, consult a professional. Finally, here's your call to action. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, please like the video, share it with anyone who is facing the I-94 deadline, and subscribe for more clear guidance. Share your questions and experiences in the comments so others can learn from them as well.